April 15, 2005, a Saturday morning in Dallas, Texas, saw more than 1.2 million shoppers flood the doors of Linens and Things, the day the retailer announced its most ambitious expansion yet, a 250-store rollout across the United States within the next 2 years. The lines stretched around the block, the cash registers chimed nonstop, and the company's stock surged, making the once small family-owned chain a titan of home goods retail. Yet, behind the glittering displays of plush towels, gleaming dinnerware, and sleek kitchen appliances, a silent storm was gathering, one that would topple the empire in less than 4 years. Founded in 1953 by two brothers in the modest town of New York's Bronx, Linens and Things began as a single, cramped storefront selling sheets and towels at rock-bottom prices. The founders, Leo and Max Shapiro, believed that quality home essentials should be affordable for the average American. Their mantra, more for less, resonated in a post-war economy hungry for comfort. By the early 1970s, the Shapiros opened their first suburban store, embracing the burgeoning mall culture that reshaped shopping habits across the nation. Their low-margin, high-volume model, paired with aggressive discounting, allowed them to undercut competitors and rapidly accumulate a loyal customer base. The 1990s marked the golden era. With the rise of big-box retailers, Linens and Things seized the moment, opening massive, warehouse-style stores that rivaled the square footage of department stores. They introduced "everything you need for a better home" as a tagline, and their catalogs, glossy, brimming with staged living rooms and holiday spreads, found their way onto mailboxes across America. The company went public in 1997, and its shares leapt as investors chased the promise of a retail disruptor. By 2001, the chain boasted more than 400 locations, and sales topped $5 billion. But the very tactics that fueled their meteoric rise also planted the first warning signs. First, the relentless discount strategy eroded profit margins to razor-thin levels. While competitors like Bed Bath & Beyond kept a modest 4–5% margin, Linens and Things operated at under 2%, relying on sheer volume to stay afloat. Second, the rapid expansion stretched the supply chain beyond its capacity. Warehouses became overburdened, and inventory errors grew common. A mispriced set of cookware would linger on shelves for months, tying up capital that could have funded newer merchandise. The warning lights flickered brighter in 2003 when the company announced a bold partnership with a major credit card issuer to launch a proprietary store card. The move was intended to lock customers into the brand, but it also exposed Linens and Things to mounting credit risk liabilities. Simultaneously, the rise of e-commerce began to erode foot traffic in suburban malls. While competitors invested heavily in online platforms, Linens and Things clung to its brick-and-mortar identity, treating its website as a mere digital brochure, rather than a sales engine. In early 2005, the corporate headquarters, flush with optimism, announced a $600 million a store within a store concept, planning to embed specialty boutiques like cookware and home decor sections within existing locations. Analysts warned that the capital outlay would strain cash flow, but the board, buoyed by the April sales surge, pressed ahead. The warning signs turned into red alerts when the company's quarterly earnings report in August revealed a net loss of $75 million, the first negative earnings in a decade. The loss was attributed to increased promotional spending and inventory write-downs, euphemisms for the deeper issues gnawing at the business. The final domino fell in late 2007, a sharp decline in consumer confidence, triggered by the looming subprime mortgage crisis, slashed discretionary spending. Shoppers who once splurged on new bedding sets began cutting back, and Linens and Things' heavy discount model left it unable to generate enough profit to cover its soaring debt, $3.4 billion in long-term obligations. much of it tied to lease obligations on sprawling retail spaces. On December 28, 2007, the board announced a Chapter 11 filing, citing an unprecedented economic environment and the need to restructure its operations. The bankruptcy filing sent shockwaves through the retail sector. Over 5,000 employees received layoff notices, and suppliers, ranging from small-scale manufacturers in North Carolina to global textile firms in Asia, faced unpaid invoices totaling hundreds of millions of dollars. The chain's iconic, "Everything you need for a better home" slogan was replaced with a stark, gray notice on storefront windows, "Closed for business." By the spring of 2008, the last of Linens and Things stores were liquidated, their inventory sold off at fire sale prices to pay creditors. The brand name, once synonymous with affordable home comfort, vanished from the retail landscape. The aftermath rippled beyond the empty aisles. Former employees struggled to find comparable wages, especially in the Midwest, where the chain had been a major employer. Small business suppliers who had relied on Linens and Things for a steady stream of orders were forced to shutter factories or pivot to new clients, a transition that cost many jobs and eroded local economies. The retail real estate market felt the impact too. Hundreds of large-format spaces sat vacant, prompting mall owners to reinvent their footprints with entertainment venues, gyms, or mixed-use developments. For the industry at large, the collapse served as a cautionary tale about the perils of overexpansion, thin margins, and the failure to adapt to digital disruption. Subscribe to The Collapse for more stories like this.